Matt Rhule just wrapped up a huge rant in his weekly Monday press conference, and he exposed a myriad of issues within the Husker football program. It starts with him. He talked about his performance, what he's done this season, why this team has fell short, the coaching staff, a huge cultural problem. We'll talk about that. Some players who need to step up or they might be benched going forward, and so much more. I'm going to give you my instant reaction. I'm not going to hold back myself. What did he say that was correct? What did he say that we need to push back on, along with a bunch of other news from today? An injury update around starter offensive lineman for the Huskers. We'll talk about that. Some things going on around college football that have direct Nebraska implications. Some good recruiting news for the Huskers in regards to the D-line. And then we'll have a conversation about the USC game, a past Nebraska transfer who's balling out elsewhere who we wish was here, and so much more. So really quick, this is a loaded video. I'm not going to hold back today. If you enjoy these type of videos, because I know I do, hit that like button. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We're getting so close to 14,000. Let's hit it this week. This is the only place you can get daily content talking Huskers, win or loss. It's no brainer. It takes 2 seconds. Join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. Let's begin with Matt Rhule's press conference because it was unreal. Everything that I expected and more. He was absolutely mad. He said right off the bat that he was pissed off, not only with himself, but with the coaching staff and with the players, that our performance versus Minnesota was completely unacceptable. And he took accountability. And I'm proud of Matt Rhule for doing that, because in the past, whether it was with him, with Scott Frost, Mike Riley, we would throw the blame at assistant coaches, at players. Matt Rhule right off the bat said he has to do better, which I agree with, because a lot of these problems, they do fall on Matt Rhule. He's the head man in its year 3. However, he said some things that were absolutely unbelievable in regards to this program, and they show a lot of cultural issues, not only with him, this coaching staff, and the players. Right off the bat, he said that the team was not ready for a fist fight, that they thought the game was going to be a little bit easier than what it actually was. Are you kidding me? We played Minnesota, a team that we have not beat in 8 years, and they thought it was going to be easy because, oh, we're 5-1, and we barely beat Maryland. How are they so entitled? How is this team so entitled? How does this team literally think that they're going to just walk into Minnesota and blow them out? They thought it was easier. They thought it was going to be an easy game. Yeah, it not only wasn't easy, you got embarrassed. So that falls on the team, that falls on the quarterback, because the team often masks the perception of the quarterback, the personality of the quarterback. We know that Dylan, he has an ego, and I like that our quarterback is so confident in himself and his abilities, but Dylan at times is a little bit cocky. He said after we lost to Michigan that we're going to rally and do something special. He said all offseason long how we're going to be a playoff team. So the team masks Dylan's ego, and Dylan has an ego. This entire team's entitled, man. So I was really frustrated with that. They thought this game was just going to be easy and that we don't really have to think about it. But he talked about the coaching staff as well. It's not just the players. It was the coaching staff who had that mentality. He said that all week he told the coaching staff and the team that it was going to be a fist fight and that it's going to be a hard game, because we know that Minnesota is very physical. They're very talented. And the assistant coaches kept telling Matt Rhule, why are you crowning Minnesota? Why are you saying all this? It's not going to be a tough game. The assistant coaches were saying that. The positional coaches, the coordinators, probably Dana was saying that, John Butler. He said that Matt Rhule said he could not convince the coaching staff what the game was actually going to be like, because everybody thought it was going to be easy. Are you kidding me? This shows me a lot of problems, not only with the coaching staff, but with Matt Rhule. Number one, why are the coaches going against Matt Rhule's judgment? That tells me these coaches are entitled, whether it's, again, Dana Holgorsen. We know that Dana, he has a track record of being a coach elsewhere. Who says that he really respects Matt Rhule as much as he maybe respects himself? Do you really think that Dana is okay in being second command? You think if, him and Matt Rhule butt heads, that Dana's just going to take that? Dana, in his head of heads, probably thinks he's a better coach than Matt Rhule. So was Dana going back and forth with him? Was it John Butler, who's had multiple experience in the NFL? Was all these new positional coaches who think they're hot, but they're nothing? So that falls on the coaching staff, but also falls on Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule talks all the time about being a leader, which is great. How can you be a leader of men when your coaching staff doesn't even respect your authority? Unbelievable. Again, this is year 3. So I know a lot of people are, throwing shots at the coaching staff. Oh, the coaching staff doesn't respect Matt Rhule. It falls back on Matt Rhule. We've already done this charade. We've fired coaches before. We fired Satterfield. At least we demoted him. We got rid of Ed Foley. We got, all the coaches on defense are practically gone from last year. This is a brand new coaching staff. So again, I will be the first to admit that there are members of this coaching staff who aren't good enough. Okay, Donnie's not good enough. Dana has not been good enough. John Butler's not been good enough. Nobody's been good enough besides maybe Mike Eckler. I'm the first one to admit that. But in year 3, this is getting old. At some point, it falls back on Matt. And if the coaches aren't respecting Matt, it might be a Matt issue. I've never heard a coach say that before. I'm livid, just livid. It's coaching staff, not only the team, but the coaching staff thought this game was going to be easy and they didn't respect Matt Rhule's opinion. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. As for the offensive line, you know, I thought Steve Sipple asked a really good question that Matt Rhule could not dodge because he was dodging some questions very early on. He said, hey, who does this offensive line fall on? He said, hey, the offensive line just wasn't good enough. Okay, but he said that 3 sacks were on Emmett Johnson. I thought that was a ridiculous statement by Matt Rhule. How can you sit here and throw Emmett Johnson under the bus and say 3 sacks were on him? Emmett Johnson gave more heart in that ball game than any other player on this entire team, and the 3 sacks were not on him. Okay, and I understand what he's referencing. You know, there was one play that Matt Rhule talked about specifically where there was an edge rusher who just bull rushed Emmett. Okay, but here's the thing. Emmett's not a good blocker. This shouldn't be shocking to anybody. We've been talking about this on the channel for years. Emmett has never been a good blocker. So why is the coaching staff putting him in positions for failure? Okay, if you expect him to block an edge rusher one-on-one in the Big Ten, you're just naive. That's not what he does. He's not a good blocker. He's never going to be a good blocker. And also, the reason why he's oftentimes having to block edge rushers one-on-one is because of miscommunications with the tackles and with the guards. You know, there's one player in particular where the tackle and the guard, they ended up blocking the same guy. The center didn't block anybody because, again, it was a complete miscommunication. It was a huge blocking issue. And then Emmett, again, got ran over. So again, I don't know how to put it to you. I don't know how to put this to you, Matt Rhule. But again, if you expect Emmett to block one-on-one with anybody worth anything in this conference, it's just not going to happen. That's not who he is, and that doesn't fall on Emmett. We know what he is. He's a good player, but he's not a blocker. So you either substitute Emmett out of the ball game, or you don't expect him to block one-on-one. But for you to blame it all on Emmett, that's unbelievable. I don't want to say he blamed it all on Emmett. He said, you know, the rest of the offensive line was bad. The tackles, of course, missed blocks. That the interior fell apart. Again, that was a terrible statement. He also really didn't blame Dylan Raiola for anything. He said, you know, that Dylan avoided 3 or more sacks. He thought Dylan played, you know, a decent ball game given the circumstances. He said it was all the offensive line's fault. He said it was his fault too. Like, I'll give Matt credit. He blamed himself a lot. That's fine, right? I appreciate that you're doing that. But again, Dylan did not play a good ball game either. He just didn't. We have to call a spade a spade. Dylan oftentimes would never step in the pocket. He would never throw the ball away, and he threw a lot of balls in harm's way because of it. So at some point, you got to start blaming your quarterback, even if he's your best friend. Okay, I know you love Dylan, Matt, but you got to blame him because he didn't play a very good ball game either. We'll talk about that later in the week. And then he said 2 other things. He said he did not feel like we quit like we did versus Michigan 2 years ago. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. We quit in the 4th quarter. We absolutely quit. When Minnesota rolled all the way down the field at the very last drive of the ball game and scored, we quit. We completely quit on that drive. We quit. We got the ball back. And Dylan Raiola took a sack when they only rushed 2 people. We quit. So don't act, oh, we didn't quit. We tried to the very end. Well, if we tried to the very end, that's even worse, honestly. If he's correct and he said we didn't quit and we gave it our all to the very end, that's even worse. That's not a good thing. Because if you're trying your hardest and you still only put up 6 points, oh my gosh. And the last thing he said that, hey, we play Minnesota 2.0 this week. We play Northwestern. Northwestern's just as good as Minnesota, if not better. We've got to lock in. He said if the fans spend their money to see us lose again, we should boo them. We should. I'll boo them. I will. I'll be very disappointed in this team. I told you, I didn't really freak out after we lost to Minnesota because it was kind of predictable, even though I predicted to win. But if we lose Northwestern, okay, that's when we have to start having tough conversation about everybody. But then Matt Rhule ended with an ultimatum. He said, but we will show up. We will show up versus Northwestern. So the booing's not going to happen. We will show up. He gave us a confirmation. Okay, I appreciate you doing that, but we got to see it. Actions speak a lot louder than words. So that was Matt Rhule's press conference. But again, I appreciate him taking accountability, right? Again, it's too many times he does not take accountability. Too many times he points the finger. He took accountability in this press conference. That's good. Back it up with wins, though, because, oh my goodness, you think the fan base is mad right now? Oh, you don't want to see him if we lose Northwestern. You don't want to see him. Because it's going to get really, really ugly. So that's my reaction to the press conference. Then let's get to all the news because there was a lot of news today, not in regards to the press conference, but I want to start off with ROCCO Spindler. Matt Rhule said that ROCCO is going to be back this season, that he's questionable going into the game versus Northwestern, that he still has a lot of pain in his hand, but it's not as bad as what we initially thought. He had surgery a couple days ago. So yeah, that's really good news. I thought he was out for the season. We talked about that in the video. So again, that helps our offensive line. ROCCO is probably our best one coming back. So Listen, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Now, I will say this. It's funny how college football works, because in the NFL, with that type of injury, I guarantee ROCCO would be out for at least 2 months. But in college football, they're like, you know, you're going to get surgery, you're going to take all these pain meds, and we're going to get you back out there. But again, I don't know if this is a good decision. ROCCO could probably re-aggravate that. He's going to be playing through a lot of pain. Trust me on that one. So, hey, I respect it, though, because ROCCO Spindler, again, if he's off the field, our offensive line just goes to trash, man. Goes kaput. So, ROCCO Spindler will be back. That is a positive development. All right, as for all the other news from today and their implications toward Nebraska, let's talk about it. It was announced that Mike Norvell will be back at Florida State for the rest of the season. Now, the reason why this is interesting to me, obviously for recruiting implications also, but people were asking me over these past couple of days, hey, if Mike Norvell gets fired, is there a chance that Terrence Knighton comes back to Nebraska? Now, to answer that very honestly with you, there's a 0% chance. That bridge is burnt. Terrence Knighton, like, he burnt some bridges when he left, right? With this coaching staff, with a lot of these players, he tried to peer recruit some of these players to leave and go to Florida State, who ended up staying with us. And I don't want to reveal all that information, but just to sum it up, Terrence Knighton's not coming back. Even though I love Terrence Knighton, I think he's a really good coach, really good recruiter, he will not be back in Nebraska. If Norvell gets fired, which I believe he will at the end of the year, T-Knight's going to get a pretty good job somewhere else. So wish him the best of luck. As for Tony White, Tony, you made a bad judgment, my man. This is all your fault. This is all your fault. So Tony White, I am laughing at him. Just a little bit. As for some other news today in regards to recruiting, Nebraska offered a big-time four-star defensive tackle in the class of 26. As I told you guys, like, if we offer any player in the class of 26 this late in the process, it means we're really trying to push for him. This is Carter Gooden, committed to UCLA, and he's a top 100 player, borderline 5-star coming out of the state of Massachusetts. He's recently picked up offers from the Huskers, Tennessee, Miami, so just watch out for this name. We had a big recruiting update earlier on the channel, so make sure to watch that if you haven't. But again, another defensive lineman added in the mix who we potentially might get on a visit, maybe for the USC ball game, which we'll talk about at the very end of the video. As for some other things I want to talk about real quick, okay, there's the ROCCO Spindler news. And again, one thing that really frustrates me, I was thinking about this team earlier. It's crazy how bad we are, and we've had no injuries. And I don't want to act like the season's over. I think a lot of people were saying that we're not going to win another game. But it's crazy to me how bad this offensive line is, how bad the receivers are, how bad Dylan's been, how bad the defense has been these last 3 weeks in particular, and we basically have no injuries. This team is 100% healthy, besides, Malcolm Hartzog obviously being out, but besides that, there's no impact player who's injured or even really banged up for us. Everybody's been healthy, and yet we're still crumbling as a team. You look at some of the other teams that are crumbling around the country, whether it's a Florida, whether it's even Miami's crumbled. They lost to Louisville, Florida State, right? Texas, right? A lot of these schools are literally crumbling because of injuries. We're crumbling when we're healthy. Do you understand how lucky we are? This season could be so much worse if we had any more injuries, whether it was Dylan, whether it was any more wide receiver and someone on defense. This season could be so much worse. And yet, for the most part, we are 95% healthy, and we're still this bad. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy. And we're being gifted a huge gift by the injury gods, and still. That's something that's just, it can't be explained. Nebraska former offensive tackle Grant Seagren was the highest graded right tackle in all college football last week. Remember when people said that he wasn't a big loss when we lost him in the spring portal? Oh, Grant Seagren's gone. Oh, it doesn't really matter. He wasn't going to play anyways. We trust our offensive line. It's funny how when transfers leave here, they thrive. Maybe the coaching's the issue, not the talent. That's a conversation for another day, or maybe it isn't. USC, we will play USC at 6:30. It'll be a night game. Of course, we're wearing our black uniform, so again, I'm happy it's a night game. That'll be huge for recruiting. We'll have a lot of big-time recruits there in the class of 26, 27, and class of 28. Again, this is a ball game that will make or break our season. Even if we beat Northwestern, this is a game that will literally make or break it. Okay, if you can beat USC, you can salvage what's left of this year. You can potentially win out. If you lose this game and you lose Northwestern, it's over. It just is. It's over. We might as well get ready for the portal. So, we're wearing black. We're wearing black like the Omen. Let's hope that black Omen is for USC, not for us. And last but not least, I just wanted to talk about this real quick at the end of the video. I want to see Cortez Mills get more playing time, man. I understand the wide receivers aren't the biggest issue on this team. Everything is an issue on this team. But the fact of the matter is Dane Key has 0 receptions in 2 of the last 3 games. Jacory Barney had 1 reception for 1 yard last game. Nyziah Hunter had a crucial drop. Our best receiver against Minnesota was Quinn Clark. We got to see Cortez play, because Cortez is out there he's getting open. He's running routes to high level. Obviously, the hands. I know we ran a bad route versus Maryland that caused a pick 6, but that was also on Dylan too. Okay, and just end of the story. We need more receivers out there, because if Dane's not playing well, get him out. I don't care how much money you're paying him. Get him out. Put in Cortez. Put in Jeremiah Jones. Put in Keelan Smith. Put in DJ Singleton. I don't care. I don't care. This is a standard. That's a standard, Matt. Rhule. We talk all the time about the standard. Okay, I don't care who you are, what your name is, what your price tag is. You're not playing well. We're going to put in anybody but you. And it's time to put in Cortez. So that is my conversation around that. Again, we'll talk about the offensive line more in depth in, I think, 2 days on the channel. We'll talk about quarterbacks as well. So, again, we have a loaded week on the channel, guys. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments today. So let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me. I absolutely want to hear what you say. Hey, if you made this far, we're getting so close to 14,000. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Go, McGrad, go, Matt Rhule, and I'll see you in the next one.